God has gone, oh! And you've given it a good size. There's a lot of potential of making quite a few interesting photos from this location. Eye-catching and definitely a great shot. But yeah, great shot. Graduated kind of exposure upward things. Hello everyone, in this video I'm doing a photo critique for Thomas Clemens. And he writes me and says, "Hi Mr. Dom, good work. My name is Thomas. I am from Bochum, Germany, and I am a hobby..." It's funny, Germany, because like on my YouTube like stats, I've got like America is usually at the top, then it's the UK, and then Germany is second. There must be a lot of people in Germany that obviously speak good enough English or understand English well enough to be really watching my channels. Out of that, they're really all into photography. I don't know why are there so many Germans, or why is Germans the second most viewing people that are watching my videos? Does anybody know? Any Germans know? Tell me why. Okay, is it because my second name is Bauer, and that is actually used to be from an old German name, which is B-A-U-E-R, which is Bauer, which I think actually just means pig farmer or peasant farmer. Anyway, sorry, Thomas, this is about you. Okay, so you are a hobby photographer for about 3 years. I would like you to critique some of my photos, and I'm really curious about your opinion, and a bit scared too. Okay, you should be. Currently, I'm using the Nikon D300S and various lenses from Nikon, Tokina, Sigma and Tamron. Most of my photos are landscape and nature photography, but I'm not fixed to this, okay? So here are the photos. Great English, like, brilliant. Here are my photos, and I hereby give Dom Bauer the right to replicate my images in his YouTube channel and his blog. I also appreciate if Dom is as harsh as he likes on the images. Good work, you've put in all the exact words I'm wanting there, Thomas. Okay, so the first one you've given me is winter shells, and you've given it a good size. I'm quite liking the size of this. And what's it called? It's called winter shells, and it says, I laid down on the ground trying to find an interesting angle and trying to avoid the dirt of the ducks and gooses lying there. I missed the second part, but I think it was worth it. The second part, I don't know what that means. I missed the second part, but I think it was worth it. Okay, I don't know what you're on about, but I like this shot. I like the colours. I like it's got a cold tone with the snow. It's well exposed. Contrast is maybe a little bit high. Like, we've really lost a lot of detail down here. So definitely check on your computer's monitor calibration, because yours might have a wider dynamic range or like wider contrast levels, so check how whenever it prints out if it's definitely the right kind of contrast that you want it to be. But yeah, no, this is lovely. It's a nice sunny shot. I like how the sun is just out of camera and how you've got a little bit of flare coming into the image. I'm a big fan of flare. I like that a lot. But I think what I think is the flare being there is a bit too much in the middle. Like, I like it if it's more at the corner over there. So you can't really change that. You can only change your angle and your composition. Okay, in the shot, what have you got? Have you got leading lines to anything that's that interesting? Right, what you've called it is winter shells. And the bit which is of importance are these little shells down here. But unfortunately, when I initially open up this picture, I'm not really seeing the shells. These are really just a secondary thing which I'm only noticing because you've told me about the shells. So I'm thinking maybe like a macro shot, close up, seeing the shells would be quite interesting. But in terms of your exposure, I think you've done like maybe a neutral density filter over the top, a graduated one, just so we've got the exposure in the sky. But yeah, it seems like, what was it you said that your settings were? It was the Tokina 12 to 24 at 14mm at f14, 100th of a second ISO 200. Cool. Okay, you've got a whole bunch of different lines going on in this shot. You've got horizontal lines going there. You've got diagonal lines from these stones here and these stones here, and then you've got this kind of leading kind of pathway which kind of goes down into nothing down here. So you've got lots of different bits moving into each other, which I feel haven't actually worked to the best ability. It's a nice shot. It's not a postcard shot. It's not something I go, oh, I really want to go there and take some photos of this. I think you need to go to a different angle where you've got more leading lines leading up to something of interest. Like these stones out here are definitely something of interest, especially with the way the sun is hitting on them. I also think the colour of these shells could be very interesting with a macro shot, getting in really close and just seeing the sun reflecting off those. Maybe some of the ones which are kind of half in the water, half out. I think those are an interesting thing. I don't really see shells like that in any of the watery bays that we've got around here. And especially mixing that with the snow you've got at the side, I think there's a lot of potential of making quite a few interesting photos from this location. But I just feel that this photo is missing really the object of attention that's really meant to grab my attention and make me think either I want to go there or I like it or you know, what's special about that location. And the special thing are these shells, and at the moment they're not really showing themselves to be of interest or even subtle interest. They're just like, oh, they're there. So yeah, I would work on the composition, but definitely work that location a bit more. Okay, your next one is called Togetherness. I saw a couple sitting on a spur dike enjoying the sunset. Very romantic in my mind. And yeah, a bit sappy too, but I like it. Nikon D60 with your Tamron 2875 at 50mm f8 at 1000th of a second ISO 400. And that's cute. Oh, I like that. Yeah, okay, you've got sun over there, you've got the people there, and you've got the duck over there. Okay, I think that's a very nice photo. I like also how actually, what I think is if you got to a slightly lower position, because from what I'm seeing here, is it looks like you're in a standing position. And I think if this shot was taken a little bit low, no, that's where it wouldn't work. Because if it was lower, these people's silhouettes would be in the shadow of this bit over here. So I suppose the angle that you're at has to be done. But I think the reflection of the sun here is a very nice addition that you've got of it there. Maybe if it was a little bit further down in the water, so if the sun was a little bit higher, or maybe if it's over here or something. The secondary object of attention being the duck over here with its little wake that it's given out to the side, I think it's very nice as well. So I think it's a very nice shot, but you've got a lot of dead space down here. And it also looks a little bit dirty. I think you've got like either dust on your sensor or maybe it's just a dirty pond. But I think maybe making this a bit more of a panoramic shot. So if we were to crop it in so it was just like, I think if it was just like that, that is a lovely shot. I think you've just given me a little bit too much more down here. So I'm a fan of cropping, and I think that'd be nice as a bit more of a panoramic shot. But yeah, lovely colours, lovely idea, lovely capture. Well done. Good. Okay, next one. Okay, tough one. Dying flowers on my kitchen table, kind of a sad atmosphere, but also aesthetic. Okay, good words. Nikon D300S with the Nikon 35 f1.8 and ISO blah blah blah. Okay, nice. I like the colours, I like the positioning, I like the composition. I don't like the shallowness of the depth of field here. Now, the shallowness of the depth of field has worked absolutely fine for the bit down here. But, unfortunately, you've got a whole bunch of flowers which are at the front of your picture, which are totally blurry. And only these ones back here are in focus. And I think you really want to have it so you've got much more front to back of the flowers in focus and just having the background totally blurry than having some of the flowers also blurry as well. So I would just work, I would say maybe what have you done here? You've done it at f1.8. I think maybe take another step back and do it at f2.8. Just make sure all the flowers are in focus and the background is blurry. Because at the moment, I think just too much of the flowers are blurry. Okay, but good one. Next one. Ooh, mysticism. Oh, you're using some tough words here. Upcoming mist in the evening and nice colours in the sky makes this really interesting, at least to me. Well, I think you're darn right there. Tokina 12 to 24 at 19mm at f5.6 ISO 400. Yeah, I like this. Let's go in closer so we see the photo as a whole one. Now that is a very spooky, interesting shot. It looks like there's kind of a castle up in the background there. You've got the great I would say maybe even a little bit more saturation in the blues and the reds, just so that sky really pops. But that is spooky. Maybe a little bit of an enhancement in the exposure. Maybe just like maybe a 0.5 exposure up in Lightroom, just so it's a little bit brighter, I think. Or maybe just bringing the lower bit brighter, because this bit is obviously a little bit darker down here. But that is definitely eye-catching and definitely a great shot. I really like it. You've got your little kind of weeds down here, but I don't find them distracting from the shot, because the shot here really is this kind of mist that's moving out. I love to see this shot again whenever there's even more mist, or where the mist was going on to the water as well. But yeah, so you've got sunset, you've got clear blue sky with those amazing red bits there. Oh, see if you'd done a time-lapse photo of this, where you're taking photo, you know, a photo every 10 seconds or something, and done that for a couple of hours. That would be an amazing little video on YouTube to see. But yeah, I think that's a very nice shot. Again, you've done the kind of rule of thirds over to the side, but have you kind of done it in the middle? It is very much in the middle. So think about what is of more interest. Is it the sky or is it reflection? Here I'd say both are very interesting. Maybe if you've done a longer exposure where the water would have been much more smooth, because you can see all the kind of ripples in the water down here. So what have you said? You did it at ISO 400. I say take it into ISO 100 and have that little time so it's a slightly longer exposure, so the water smooths itself out effectively, and so it'd almost be like glass. It'd be really quite good. I like that. But yeah, that's good location as well. Okay, and then your last one, into the light. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Oh, lovely, very nice. What have you called this one? Into the light. Nice light in the morning in our city park in Bochum. Glad the man with his dog came by because I think he adds value to the photo. You are absolutely spot on. I liked the scene very much and had a nice conversation with them. Oh, lovely. Nikon with the 35mm at f1.8 ISO 640. But yeah, great shot. I think that is absolutely a striking photo of that person there. What would be good if that person had a hat on and he maybe a big kind of dark coat or something, because there he just looks like an old man in a park. But that's very sweet. It's just like the light is shining on him, like God has gone oh down on top of him. So yeah, I like that one a lot. What I would like, there is almost a little bit too much lost in the black and whiteness here. Like this tree here, we're just losing a little bit too much detail. It is like just totally jet black on my screen. This is where something, if you'd had a neutral density graduated filter, you could have had it over where the person is. That would have meant that your exposure time would have been a little bit longer. He would have been in the same exposure that he is just now, but it means the trees would be a little bit brighter because you'd have the longer exposure. And then at least we'd see the detail of the forest, of the trees that you're in, of the underside of the leaves. But effectively, no, I think that's a great shot. This is a good use of the rule of thirds. I'd maybe crop out the sunspot that you're getting up there. I think, again, this might be a good one, just kind of a bit more as a kind of shot like that, just right there. But yeah, no, I think, Thomas, you've definitely got a good eye, a very good eye. You're seeing some great shots. You're getting at the good times. You're getting good weather, misty, cloudy, all this kind of stuff. I think you're definitely seeing it, sunsets, sunrises, and stuff like that. So all I say is just watch on some of your shallowness of your depth of field, and the stone ones with the shells. Really, I want to see some more of those actually interesting shells. So I would say very good work, very nice photos, definitely good work. I like it. I would happily stop by your photos if they were on a photography website and I had loads of photos kind of going there. The most likely one would, or actually two, would definitely be the Misty Mysticism and the Into the Light. I'd definitely stop by that. But I think Into the Light, if you could expose for the inside of those trees, so if you shot in RAW, and if you could do in Lightroom one of those graduated kind of exposure upward things, that would help. I think I'd at least like to see it to compare it, and then I could give you a proper decision on it. But yeah, good work. Okay, well done, Thomas. I hope that helps. I hope I gave you some tips there. Can't remember if I did. Either way, cheers. Bye bye.